Hello and welcome back to the Academic Society. It's Toyin here. Today I want to talk about the importance of writing in grad school and academia. So I would love to know, in your specific field, on a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is like not very important and 10 is of the utmost importance. On a scale from 1 to 10, how important do you feel good academic writing is in your field? And let us know what field you're in and your number in the comments below. I'm a mathematician. Even I think 7 or 8 for me as my number. I think writing is very important in mathematics. And so in today's video, I'm going to share the role that writing had for me in my grad program as a mathematician and just as a graduate student in general. And the reason why I want to talk about writing is because later this week, I'm going to be meeting with an academic writing expert. I don't know if you've heard of her, Dr. Anna Clemens. She helps academics and grad students with their academic writing to help them get published in high-ranking journals. And so I'm going to be meeting with her on Tuesday, and she's agreed to let me film our meeting, and she's going to be answering some of your biggest writing questions. So if you have any questions for Dr. Clemens that you want to have answered, definitely leave them in the comments of this video, and I'll share the top questions as well as her answers in next week's video. All right, let's get into it. So I'm Toyin. I'm the founder of the Academic Society. I got my PhD in math and landed my dream job as a lecturer, and I also create these videos about time management and productivity as well as my academic lifestyle. All right, so I want to talk about the importance that good writing had in my graduate school experience. So I'm a mathematician. I got my PhD in math. And so when I was in grad school, a lot of people would be like, oh, you're getting a PhD in math? What are you in, like calculus 12? I wish getting a PhD in math was that easy. A lot of people think that math is just like computations because that's all of the math that you get exposed to if you're not getting an advanced degree in mathematics. So a lot of people think we're just like crunching numbers, calculating things. But really, when you meet a mathematician, the thing they study is likely the theory behind all of the computational things that you've learned. There's a whole field called real analysis, which is the theory behind calculus, right? So we're doing a lot of writing. We're writing proofs. And so when we're writing proofs, it's really important for us to be logical and make sure one statement flows to the next when we're writing our proof, and that there's no gaps in the logic, and also that we're not being circular in our explanations and like just going around in circles and circles. And so that type of writing takes a lot of practice. I can say that I'm a much better proofwriter now than I was when I first started graduate school. Also, let me know in the comments if you do proofs. Another big role that writing played in my grad school and academic career is the context and understanding the context level of my audience and who I'm writing for. So the way that I would write about my research to present what I was doing to a conference may look a little different than the way I would write about my research to present to the math club or even my dissertation committee. Right? So math has a lot of jargon. I imagine your field has a lot of jargon as well. And it's important to consider the audience that you're talking to when you're writing. So when you're writing for a class versus writing for a journal, it may look a little different. And that's something I really had to understand as a graduate student. So we would have these graduate student seminars where we would present our research to other graduate students as well as a few professors. But just because you're getting a PhD in math doesn't mean you know anything about the specific field that I'm researching. So it's important to lay the foundation and set up the right context for your audience. We would always joke that when we would go to math talks, we would be able to follow the first 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes where it's just like definitions, and then the rest is like over our head. And also, as a graduate student, I was a graduate teaching assistant. So I would be teaching undergraduates. The way I talk about math with my fellow grad students is not the way that I talk about math or even write about math with my undergraduate students. I was talking to a friend who I hadn't talked to in almost 10 years. We went to graduate school together, and he is not from the US. And so he came in thinking, oh, the US education is amazing. I know that my math students are going to be so good at math because they were trained in math in the United States. If you're in the United States, you know math is not our strongest subject. And so he was going into his classes and teaching his students at a level that was higher than what they are. But now that he is experienced with now that he's experienced and he knows the context level of his students, he knows how to meet them where they are and build them up to where they need to be in the class. And he actually really enjoys teaching, and he loves helping his students understand math. And he wishes that someone would have told him about the context of his students before he started teaching as a graduate student. So understanding the context of your reader or your audience is super important in academic writing. And then also for me, applying for jobs. I did not realize how much writing was involved in applying for academic jobs. You have to write your teaching statement, your research statement, your cover letter. Maybe you even have a diversity statement that you have to write. It took weeks to get all of those documents created. And I am not someone who wrote long papers as a graduate student, so I utilized the writing center at my school, and I had them proofread everything. Yes, they didn't understand the context of what I was talking about, but they understood the grammar, and they were able to proofread all of my documents when applying for jobs. Yeah, applying for jobs is one of those things that doesn't really get discussed. Like, what do all of these documents mean? So I actually have a job app crash course. It's a completely free resource where I walk you through all of the different documents that you have to create to submit an application for an academic job. So definitely check that out. I'll put a link for it in the description of this video. And then finally, I want to talk about publishing. While I don't have experience in that area, and I don't really know what makes a good journal article that would be published in a high-ranking journal, I don't have that skill set, but I know that's such an important part of the grad school process as well as in academia. In my program, I was not required to publish any papers, but I know some of your programs, you are required to publish papers. And so I want to help you in that endeavor. So as I mentioned, I am not the expert, but Dr. Anna Clemens, who I'm meeting with on Tuesday, she is an expert, and this is what she does. She helps graduate students and other academics get published in those high-ranking journals. And so we're going to meet on Tuesday, and I'm going to ask her a bunch of writing questions. So if you have questions for Dr. Clemens, definitely leave them in the comments of this video so that I can ask those questions, and then we'll share that video next week on my channel. Also, in a couple weeks, February 1st, we're going to host a live workshop together. It's a live class on how to get your articles published in high-ranking journals. And this workshop is for STEM students and STEM academics in STEM. I'll also leave a link for that in the description of this video so that you can sign up and join me and Anna live, and you can get some of your questions answered live as well. All right, so let's talk about writing. I know I'm not a pro at writing, that's why I'm bringing in an expert, but I would love it if you would leave your questions in the comments of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week with answers to those questions. Have a wonderful day. If you're new here, consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I will talk to you next time. Bye.